Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. The crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party took another fiery turn as the fractional National Executive Committee, loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, rectified the expulsion of Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, and Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State. The committee also expelled former chairman of the Board of Trustees, Senator Abdulfaz Wabara, former national vice chairman of the party body, George, and the recently elected party national chairman, Kabiru Taraki San. The move comes just days after the controversial PDP National Convention held in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. We saw Wike and his loyalists expelled from the party. The leadership crisis in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, intensified today as the ambassador Kabiru Tanimu Turaki-led faction briefly gained entrance into the National Secretariat in Abuja, but was later forced out while the Senator Samuel Anyanwu-led group held firm control of the complex. Our political correspondent, Obong Usoro, reports.
Tensions remained high throughout the day as the PDP national headquarters, Wadata Plaza, as security operatives struggled to manage the standoff between the two rival factions. Earlier in the day, the Anyanwu-led faction arrived first, took possession of key offices, and announced that it was preparing for its scheduled meetings. Hours later, the Turaki-led faction made its move. Members of the group gained access into the secretariat and announced that their National Working Committee meeting would commence immediately.
I want to call on President Trump. What is at stake is not just genocide against Nigerian Christians. He should come and save democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is under threat. I'm calling on all other developed nations, all advanced democracies, come and save Nigeria. Come and save democracy. Because I cannot understand how a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be leading talks, armed talks, and then with the active connivance or support of the police to come and create mayhem here.
But the situation changed following a heated confrontation inside the building. Security operatives intervened and escorted members of the Turaki group out of the secretariat, insisting that the situation was becoming unsafe. The Anyanwu faction maintained that their mandate remains vital and valid, describing the Turaki factions as an unlawful attempt to disrupt today's activity. Crowds of supporters from both sides remain outside, chanting and singing as police, DSS, and civil defense officers tightened security to prevent clashes. After being escorted out, the Turaki-led camp announced that it would reschedule its meeting for tomorrow, insisting that it remained the legitimate leadership produced at the Ibadan convention. The Turaki camp vows to return tomorrow to assert its authority. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
The leadership crisis in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has intensified as the ambassador Kabiru Tanimu Turaki-led faction briefly gained entrance into the National Secretariat in Abuja, but was later forced out while Senator Samuel Anyanwu-led group held firm control of the complex. Now to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered security and intelligence agencies to immediately rescue the 25 female students abducted during an attack on Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, Maga, in Kebbi State. Gunmen invaded the school in the early hours of Sunday, killing Vice Principal Malam Hassan Makuku. The attack, which occurred in Danko Wasugo local government area, threw the community into deep mourning. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reiterated that protecting every Nigerian, especially school children, remains a solemn responsibility of the state. Moving on now to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wadi Shaibu has arrived at Maga community in Kebbi State, directing troops of Operation Fashin Yama to go all out against the bandits who adopted students of Government Girls Secondary School Maga. Addressing troops during his assessment visit, the Army Chief warned that the bandits had developed a pattern of attacking soft targets, insisting that such tactics must be countered with superior strategy, intelligence, and relentlessness. Operations, he urged troops to sustain 24 hours operations until all abducted students are rescued and safely reunited with their families. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has formalized the 2026 Hajj contract agreement between licensed tour operators and Rauf Mina Company, marking a significant milestone in preparations for the 2026 Hajj session. The agreement was signed by Chairman of the Commission, Professor Abdullahi Usman, and Chief Executive Officer of Rauf Mina Company, Zaro Sadayo, in a ceremony that highlighted the Commission's commitment to delivering outstanding services to Nigerian pilgrims. The chairman emphasized that the partnership represents a shared responsibility to ensure that Nigerian pilgrims receive the quality of service they deserve for their investment in their sacred journey. 16th of every November is celebrated as International Day for Tolerance, an annual observance day declared by United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, in 1995 to generate public awareness of the dangers of intolerance and promote tolerance and education. Now, Global TV correspondent Zarau Nasser takes a look at the situation and files in this report.
Tolerance is respect, acceptance, and appreciation of the rich diversity of our world's cultures, our forms of expression, and ways of being human. The day was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in 1996 following UNESCO's adoption of the Declaration of Principles on Tolerance in 1995. The day highlights that tolerance is not passive acceptance but requires respect, acceptance, and appreciation of diversity, alongside a commitment to human rights. In an exclusive interview, social inclusion advocate, psychologist, and gender expert Sakinatu Mohammed Bello says intolerance leads to complete injustice and criminality and discrimination in the society.
Because intolerance leads to conflict, injustice, and criminality. Because sometimes there is a word or there is an adage that says, whatever you do, doing good signifies that, yes, what you are doing is effective and doing good is doing good, no matter how it's been looked at. And at the same time, for me, it seems like, it's like an integrity.
Sakinatu Bello added that tolerance is ability to accept people's differences, tolerate each other based on family setting, community setting, and office setting.
When we say tolerance, is ability to accept someone's differences, irrespective of wherever he's coming from. So if you look at Nigeria with a system that has a multi-ethnic and diverse group, it is important that we tolerate each other, and at the same time you understand and reasons with people's differences in our system based on family setting, community setting, school setting, office setting.
The theme for this year's International Day of Tolerance is Hand in Hand. Zahra Nasr, reporting for Global TV News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission Resident Electoral Commissioner in Osun, Dr. Mitiu Agboke, has urged political parties in the state to conduct their primaries in accordance with the law. A statement by INEC Public Relations Officer Olurode Musa in Osogbo noted that the conduct of the party's primaries in line with the law is important ahead of the 2026 governorship election in the state. Now, the Residents Electoral Commissioner appealed to all registered political parties in the state to strictly adhere to the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 and the Commission's guidelines and regulations for the conduct of their primaries. You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, South Africa to investigate plane carrying 153 Palestinians. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Cycle on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In Business Now, President Bola Tinubu has highlighted areas investors could explore in aviation to plunge their resources for good returns, urging players in the air travel ecosystem to imbibe collaboration, especially with operators in the private sector. To make Nigeria the preferred destination for aviation investment, Tinubu stated that the federal government already has on track the simplification of regulatory procedures, promotion of transparency, and offering incentives in areas such as airport infrastructure, aircraft leasing, maintenance, and training. The Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria, alongside major international oil companies including Shell, Total Energies, and Mobil, has pledged full support for Nigerians' ambitious plan to ramp up crude oil production. Their commitments were made at the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission's Project One Additional Production Investment Forum in London, a high-level engagement aimed at attracting investment and adding 1 million barrels per day to Nigerians' output. The forum convened leading operators, investors, and regulators to explore new investment opportunities, addressing funding constraints and strengthening collaboration needed to meet the nation's production target. The Benue State government is taking major steps towards full mechanization of agriculture through a new public-private partnership aimed at promoting modern farming and training farmers in equipment, assembly, and maintenance. Governor Hyacinth Alia made this known during a visit to Benue State Agri-Business and Mechanization Center, where he inspected newly procured farm machinery designated to boost productivity and strengthen food security across the state. Over now to our Benue State correspondent Felicity Indere with more.
The Benue State Agri-Business and Mechanization Center is fast becoming a major hub for the assembly of modern farm equipment, as well as a training ground for farmers on how to assemble and maintain the machines they use. Governor Hyacinth Alia arrives at the center to inspect a variety of newly produced farming equipment as part of efforts to encourage farmers to embrace mechanized agriculture and significantly boost their productivity and income. Satisfied with the progress so far, the governor directs the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to recollaborate its operations to ensure better results and stronger support for farmers.
With the presence of the mechanization center here, I think we now have everything we need. Again, what this means for the small farmer holders and then the commercial, which is a new trend we're headed to, is the fact that everything is back home here. Everything is back home here. We have the spare parts of the mechanization equipment in here, right here. Our young people are being trained to work on the machineries and to do the repairs ourselves, like we have suffered so enormously. So I am very excited that we have this center here. It's going to service us. It's going to take care of the small farmer holders' needs. It's going to take care of a commercially driven base.
The Acting Director General of the Bureau for Agricultural Development and Mechanization, alongside private investors, described the partnership as a win-win initiative that will accelerate agricultural development in the state.
We have the hub here that it is a hub where we are putting together It is where we put together all the implements. We are assembling them here. It's an assembly plant meant for farmers to come and learn how to assemble their plants, how to uptake these tractors and other implements to go into mechanized agriculture. We have a research hub here also to complement to the assembly plant. So it's the two of them will work together to bring results.
The governor then visits the center's administration farm where different crops species are being tested to improve yield and enhance food security for Benue State. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
The Democratic Republic of Congo has extended a ban on the trading of minerals from 38 arsenal mining sites in the conflict-hit North and South Kivu province. Officials say it is being kept in a place because of evidence that proceeds from the illegal supply from mines and is being used to fund armed groups in the region. The Mines Ministry says the 6-month extension also adds compliance pressure on global supply chains for tin, tantalum, and tungsten. And on the foreign scene, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says the hope to revive talks over ending the war caused by Russia's full-scale invasion 2 years ago during a trip to Kyiv on Wednesday on a short tour of European allies to discuss support early this week. Zelensky wrote on social media that Ukraine is preparing to revigorate negotiations and has developed solutions that he will propose to partners. While Zelensky did not disclose details of his trip, news agencies reported that he would meet United States Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, as well as President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in Ankara. South Africa says the surprise arrival of 153 Palestinians on the plane last week indicates a clear agenda to cleanse Palestinians out of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. The group landed in Johannesburg on a chartered flight on Thursday without departure stamps from Israel in their passports. Uyi Agbomofoegbe completes the story.
Reports say a secretive organization named Al-Majid was involved in their travel from Gaza. South African border police kept the group on the plane for 12 hours before President Cyril Ramaphosa allowed them entry on a standard 90-day visa exemption. South Africa's Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ronald Lamola, said the action is suspicious, one that his country has resolved to investigate.
The Palestinian plane, as to whether there is some shady work and so forth. Indeed, we are suspicious as the South African government about the circumstances surrounding the arrival of the plane and the passengers that were in the plane. And this matter is a subject of investigation. It is indeed an issue of concern to us.
Lamola also said Pretoria suspects a broader plot by the actors behind these arrivals.
It does look like it represents a broader agenda to remove Palestinians from Palestine.
South Africa, which is set to host world leaders at the G20 summit this weekend, is seen as one of the strongest supporters of the Palestinian cause. Uyi Agbomofoegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has urged the Super Eagles to shift their full attention to the 2026 African Cup of Nations in Morocco, urging the team to recover quickly from Sunday's World Cup playoff defeat to the Democratic Republic of Congo. In a statement issued by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, the president said the team must now focus all efforts on the Cup of Nations after narrowly missing out on a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup for the second consecutive cycle. Nigerians' qualification hopes were extinguished in Rabat after a tense match ended 1-1 in extra time, with Democratic Republic of Congo edging the Eagles 4-3 on penalties to move into the Interconfederation playoff. Reports linking Ademola Lookman to Galatasaray agreements have been dismissed by transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, who clarified the situation in his Italian YouTube channel, putting to rest speculations of an imminent deal. Romano said that while Atalanta remain open to discussions regarding the 28-year-old Nigerian, there is no agreement in place with Galatasaray nor with Lookman's agents. He explained that while Galatasaray have shown genuine interest in Lookman, he is just one of the several players being considered for the January transfer window. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @GlobalTVNG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good evening.